Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron. Welcome back to my holiday 2019 box office predictions. And I know what you're asking, Malik. Why are you putting this up so early? It's a Monday. Don't you usually put this up on a Friday? Well, the reason why I'm putting this up on a Monday is because it's the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. What that is instead of a typical 3 day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, instead it's a 5 day weekend, which includes Wednesday and Thursday. Because you see, well, Hollywood and in the studios, what they like to do is they release their movie on that Wednesday, right? In order to build buzz, get early box office numbers. Then the next day, Thursday, every movie, particularly family films, takes a bit of a hit because of Thanksgiving and Black Friday really cutting into sales, cutting into to the market. But the day after Thanksgiving, that Friday, it is one of the most lucrative days of the year. Like every movie's box office on Friday just skyrockets. Like it's a great day. And then the rest of the weekend just goes back to normal. But yeah, that's how the Thanksgiving box office works. The reason why Hollywood's been doing it so long is because they think that if you release a movie on a Wednesday rather than a Friday, you'll be able to maximize your potential revenue, which seems fair. I mean, you are adding 2 extra days to your total, which will lead to more money. So it makes sense to me. And the thing is, Frozen 2 was supposed to come out on this Wednesday, but Disney decided to push it back to the Friday before the holiday in order to maximize the revenue even more, which clearly worked, as that movie opened at over $130 million, which is a crazy number for November, and it's easily going to dominate Thanksgiving and the week after Thanksgiving. So where does that leave all the movies that are, just in Frozen 2 shadow? Where does that leave them? Well, we have two new movies coming out on Thanksgiving, Knives Out and Queen Slim. But today, we're talking about Knives Out. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of Knives Out. So let's just jump right into it. Pros, the cast. Obviously. I mean, of all the movies people have said, all the things people said about this movie, the cast is like the biggest positive of them all. I mean, you got people like Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis. See who else? Michael Shannon, Tony Collette, Christopher Plummer. Like this is fantastic. Like this, you got some really talented people up in here, which is obviously gonna attract a decent amount of people. Because I mean, sure, sometimes star power is overrated. And if you look at some of these actors individually, they're not very strong, but together they're strong. So, yeah, easily the cast is the biggest pro of this movie. Second pro, the advertising. Unlike Charlie's Angels, Lionsgate is pushing Knives Out and it's pushing it hard. I've been seeing ads for this on YouTube all the time. Almost every video I watch, I get at least one ad for Knives Out. So that's pretty aggressive coming from Lionsgate. So it's clear they have some level of faith in this movie. The third pro is the reviews. Now, I know we really shouldn't trust reviews because it's just a bunch of critics, a bunch of snobby critics who clearly are out of touch or they have like particular motives with their reviews. Like they like certain things because they have certain context or, you know, uh, messages or ideas and stuff. I mean, but to give Knives Out the credit it's due, it does have a very high score on Rotten Tomatoes in the high 90s. And also to its credit, the audience score is also in the high 90s too. So it's at least right now, it seems like it's not going to be one of those movies where critics love it, but audiences trash it. We've seen that a lot in recent years. But it seems as of right now that's not happening. So, I mean, good, I guess. And the final pro is, well, he's both a pro and a con, and that's the director and writer of this thing, Mr. Rian Johnson. You may have heard that name from a pretty big movie that got a lot of hate, a lot of criticism, and you've all at least heard of it at least once. And that movie was The Last Jedi. And while The Last Jedi did get some intense criticism from a lot of portions of the fans, it alienated a lot of fans, it pissed millions of people off. The movie still made $1.3 billion. You can't dispute that. So it's obvious a lot of people saw that movie, and I assume the people who liked Last Jedi might, well, I'm not going to say all of them, but some might give Knives Out a shot because they like Rian Johnson. And Rian Johnson, before Last Jedi, he did Looper, which has a decent reputation, so maybe. Okay, cons. Again, this is, Rian Johnson made The Last Jedi, the movie that successfully alienated, the Star Wars fan base, and it led to the downfall of Star Wars. But I'll get into more detail about that once I talk about Rise of Skywalker. But still, I mean, he did it. He's the one who broke the fandom. And I don't think you really want that on your resume. And it was kind of surprising, like the first time I saw the trailer, that they put like in, bold text. They're just like, from the director of Star Wars The Last Jedi. I mean, again, a lot of people saw that movie, but I don't know, I didn't think that was a smart move. I mean, trying to think of comparison. Let's just say if M. Night Shyamalan, I kind of compare Rian Johnson to M. Night Shyamalan a bit because they both have massive egos. They think everything they make is a masterpiece and everybody else is just wrong. So let's just say M. Night Shyamalan, when he was making Lady in the Water, and, on the, in the ads of Lady in the Water, they say, from the director of The Village. I mean, I know The Village has a decent reputation now, but back then it was hated by everybody. So that's not smart, right? It wouldn't be smart to say, oh, I made a movie that pissed off half of a certain, franchise's fan base. Like, it's not the smartest decision. And, with Rian Johnson, the way he's handled this whole backlash has been very poor. Calling people man babies, like, wow, way to be professional, Rian. I thought you were the adult. And, he's one of those people that goes on and on about, diversity. And I'm just like, you go on and on about diversity, Rian, but judging by this poster, I see a whole lot of white people. I'm just saying, I'm just pointing that out. Because, I mean, come on now. It's kind of ironic, if you ask me. Right? And, so yeah, just Rian Johnson, his whole, he's built up a pretty bad reputation for himself. And a lot of that was his own fault. And that could hurt this movie. Because I've seen plenty of people, like on the comments of Knives Out, they're just like, oh, I'm not going to watch this movie. I refuse to watch this movie because of Last Jedi. And I don't know if that'll hurt it too much because Knives Out and Star Wars clearly don't have the same audience. But who knows? We'll see. So that's like the big con of this movie, just Rian Johnson's reputation. But another con is the marketplace itself. We've had a lot, and I mean a lot, of adult content in recent weeks. I mean, we had Harriet, we had Midway, we had Dr. Sleep, we had Ford v Ferrari. Like, that's a lot. And I feel like, particularly, I guess, Ford v Ferrari and this, Knives Out, they could eat into each other's audience a bit. I mean, I know they're completely different genres, but still they're going after that same adult audience. And as I think I've said this before, if two movies are going after the same audience, they're gonna eat into each other's audience, and therefore neither makes as much as they could have. So that could be a problem too. So yeah, that's about it. I think. Yeah. So this is gonna be a little different because I have to do a prediction for like the 3 day and then the 5 day and then the overall. So for the 3 day, Friday through Sunday, I'm gonna say this movie opens to around 20 million, and for the 5 day, I'm gonna say 30. So 20 for 3 day, 30 for 5 day, which would be fine for a movie that cost around, let's see, $40 million. Not bad, not bad by any means. And its final total, I'm not sure. Depends on the audience, like the general audience word of mouth. If more people see this, it's either they're gonna love it or they're gonna hate it. One or the other, or they're gonna be like very alienated and just kind of divided over it. But I'm gonna say between 60 and 70 million total. I think that sounds fair. Maybe a bit higher if it does have good word of mouth, but we'll see. And yeah, that's Knives Out. And the next movie that's coming out Thanksgiving I gotta talk about is Queen and Slim. And then that's it. November's done. And thank God, because it's been awful. And I can't wait to cover the whole month, because that's... Oh, man. Like, yikes. And yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment. When you go check out my other playlist, I have Holiday 2019, Fall 2019, Summer 2019. I got all those. Gotta do November recap. And yeah, that's about it. And then I have to, start, December real soon. And yeah, that's it. That's all. And I am out.